I was going to hold it for the rest of the stream. What is going down? What is going on? That's right. The Martial Arts Kung Fu Avengers are here today on the next episode of Versus. That's right. 28th episode so far. We're having fun here. Kicking ass, taking names. And man, huge panel today because we got two fun flicks we're going to talk about. Kickboxer, Bloodsport. But first up, let's do the introducciones. We got Mr. Tony of the Dead in the house, son. That's right. You know what I'm saying? We got Kyle, martial artist, stuntman, filmmaker, Kyle Wong. Eric, the Asian movie enthusiast. That's right. We got Frankie Puzos in the house. Look, he's all ready. Look at him. Look at him. What you got there, my friend? Look at that. That is amazing. Yes. Anything bootleg is gold at this point. And of course, you know, my brother from another mother, Rob from Entertainment Talk Nation in the house. That's right. And you know, we got to have the Kung Fu genius up in here. You know what I'm saying? Alex Richter and my samurai brother in arms. That's right. David Anthony in the house, who's actually been having some awesome guests. So make sure you subscribe to his channel at the end of the stream because he's got Sheldon Littish on there, man. Sheldon. That's right. Double Team, all those great Van Damme movies. So make sure you subscribe.
Not Double Team.
Oh, sorry, Double Impact.
Double Team.
Double Impact.
That was on
I got the double
yesterday.
bubble wrong. So double Impact. There you go. He's like, not Double Team, not that blasphemy.
I love Double Team. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Offense gets the glory, but defense wins the game. Oh shit! I'm quoting Double Team. What is wrong with me? But yeah, all the subscribing. We'll do all that at the very end. Let's see who is here in the house in the movie dojo. First Power 100. That's right. Once again, rest in peace, Sonny Chiba. Shout out. That's right. And Nigel, what's going on? Flicks, Snacks, Nick and Nax, J Call. Oh, we got a super chat here really quick from Flicks here. He's talking about Protege. All right, 6.5. Thank you. Thanks again for the super chat. He's saying it's okay. The brand new action flick. Alex, are you going to check that out, Protege? Or are you going to pass?
I don't know. My time's limited these days. I don't know. I'll have to. It takes a lot to convince me to watch something these days.
It's all good. Maria, thanks for stopping in here. Evelina. Oh, yeah. John Martinez. Let's start the fucking ruckus. Severio. That's right. Aches. Tyler, what's going on? All the badasses are here, trickling in. Lady Danish. Everybody. We're going to keep it going. Otherwise, I'll be reading names all night. All right, here we go. Bloodsport. Before we get into it, we have a quick word from our sponsors.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos fresh and fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life. Mentos, the fresh maker.
There is no better Mentos commercial than that one.
No,
And the funny thing is, it's not even officially a Mentos commercial, but
I
that
know.
is so perfect. I love that clip.
First time I saw that,
Yeah.
I couldn't stop laughing. It was so good. Oh my god!
And we are not sponsored. Just want to clear that up just in case. All right, Bloodsport, 1988, son. We're going back. Cannon Films. Oh, yeah, the good old days. Directed by Newt Arnold. That's right. Bloodsport follows Frank Dukes, an American martial artist serving in the military who decides to leave the army to compete in a martial arts tournament in Hong Kong where fights to the death can occur. That's right. And there we go. Written by Sheldon Littich. And stars, you know who, JCVD, Donald Gibb. And for all you Firewalker fans out there, Chuck Norris. We have Leah Aries in here. Leah is in here as well. Forrest Whitaker, Roy Chow, and Bolo Young, son. That's right, Bloodsport. So we got a lot of people here today, so I'm going to keep it short and brief with me. Love this movie, man. It's classic. Before I discovered Jackie Chan and Jet Li and all that, I knew about Bruce Lee. I was a huge fan of Bruce Lee because of my father. So I love Bruce Lee, and I love martial arts movies in general, right? Any random kung fu movie comes on or whatever, I was a fan. But I really didn't get into like Jackie Chan and all those other guys and the good stuff. Okay, the good stuff, the classics, until way later. So, of course, Chuck Norris movies here and there I would watch. But I'm actually more of a Chuck Norris fan now than I was growing up. But it's funny because, that's really it, really. It's like, when you're young and watching stuff on TV, Black Belt Theater might be on this week. I don't know. And, that's all we had. And Van Damme was the guy. As soon as I watched Bloodsport with my dad on television, I was completely blown away. I mean, I love Enter the Dragon, but I was completely blown away with Bloodsport, and I loved watching Van Damme. I was like, look at this guy's, this guy's kicks. This guy is great. I love Bolo because I love Enter the Dragon. I was like, oh shit, Bolo's back. And Chong Li. And I just, it's just a fun, badass tournament movie. And of course, you got the fun fact. There would be no Mortal Kombat if it wasn't for Bloodsport. That's right, because they wanted to make a Bloodsport game, but couldn't do it. And of course, obviously, Big Trouble in Little China inspired them to make Mortal Kombat as well. But, I mean, come on, Johnny Cage is based off of who? Van Damme. Johnny Cage in the game even does the split punch from Bloodsport. So there'll be no Mortal Kombat if it wasn't for Bloodsport. But yeah, the fights are fun. I enjoy his best bud, Jackson. That's right. Jackson's a lot of fun. And, it's just a good time, man. But you got that iconic score, man, by Paul Herzog, man. That is just like, as soon as the movie starts, dun, 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 I'm already feeling it, man. And they just training. They just getting ready. Getting the cast ready. And I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack's iconic, man. That's the workout music right there. That's the training music right there. That music, Kumite, son. But, it's just a good time. You got a great villain. And one of my favorite parts of Bloodsport is little things like this, It didn't go too well for his buddy Jackson, right? You got one of the badasses right here, legit badass, rubbing it in, basically, because Jackson didn't make it. And then, hey, Frank Dukes is dealing with some shit, He's just chilling out. You got the montage music. And he's just chilling out in the bus. You know what I mean? Just hanging out. He just looks in the, in the reflection, and oh dear God, it's Chong Li in there. Little stuff like this is fucking hilarious, and I love it. I love it. That's it. That's my new Facebook cover photo in the future. Right? I'm just gonna leave just that and give people nightmares because it's fun. But yeah, I thought Jackson was fun. Jackson's fighting style, Alex. What do you describe Jackson's fighting style? Is that the fuck it style? Is that the no fuck technique? I'm just gonna brute force. What do you think?
I still think of him as the dude from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to not think of Jackson as that guy. So it's a high school fighting style.
High school fighting style. There you go. Nerds! I love the scene where he called out Bolo. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I'm talking to you, man. Yeah, you, man. You got it, right? I love Bolo's reaction. It's fucking great. Bolo's like, I know this motherfucker ain't calling me out. Is that what just happened? It's hilarious. It's great. But it's just a good movie, man. It's just a great time. It's very iconic for me. And I don't want to talk too much. It's a classic for me. So All right, Tony.
Yeah, this is my favorite Van Damme movie. That doesn't mean that's my choice, but this is my favorite one.
Spoilers.
No, it's not my. I like Kickboxer too. I like a lot of Time Cop and all that. I like a lot of Van Damme, but I've watched this the most out of anything. In fact, I watched it so much I didn't even watch it for tonight because I can quote the movie.
Right.
But yeah, I could put this on anytime. I love the movie, the quotes, this, like you said, the soundtrack, which is the same person do the soundtrack for Kickboxer.
Yeah.
Is it
right, David?
It sounds
same composer, right? Paul Herzog. I'm pretty sure he's the same composer.
If it's not, it sounds just like it.
It's the same guy.
But I like the songs more in this one.
Yeah.
Bolo is such a good villain. I don't want to give away everything because I still want to talk about Kickboxer because I want to talk about how, like we were saying, about which one's the worst villain, but I don't want to reveal right now until Kickboxer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a great movie. Like all the parts you showed, the Van Damme being Frank Dukes is great. I love the montage in the beginning, them fighting. When my cousins and I were younger, like we loved like the guy was like kind of like a monkey. We're like, oh my god, that guy's great. And,
monkey
the
style,
coconuts,
yeah.
and that was great. Like all that stuff back then, and I think it still holds up to me. Today, I love it. And I don't have any complaints about it. I don't hate it, or I don't hate anything about it.
No negatives, nothing you tweak or nothing like that. Okay.
No, nothing.
Right.
I love the video game scene too, where they're fighting and he just like jumps in. There's just so much good stuff in this movie. And every time that somebody I suggest this movie of Van Damme, like watch Bloodsport, you're gonna, it's great. That's the one I suggest if anybody hasn't seen one before. But
all right.
And Cannon did good. Cannon's kind of known for some stinkers, but they're fun stinkers too.
All right. Copy that. We got a little super chat here from Will. Thanks, Will, for the super chat. He says, we need some Stan Bush tracks up in here. I would love to play some Stan Bush, but he got copyright, but it's all good. But thanks again, Will, for the don't-know. Kyle, Bloodsport.
So definitely I think this was like one of my first Van Damme films, also seeing it when growing up, and it was like always on TBS. And I just remember like always what was it, when they test him out and he goes, and the official's like, if you know the style, show us the Dimmak. And then he just breaks the brick. I'm going, okay. I'm going along with this. And then, what was it then? Him and Roy Chow training together, those were like the scenes that really stuck out because it built up like the whole like relationship and why he has to fight. Yeah. I definitely like that relationship, and which we'll get into in Kickboxer. I kept realizing, how many times is he going to get tortured to do the splits in every single one of his movies? I'm just like, how many times do we need to see him get tortured to do the splits? And no, I agree with Tony that Jackson, like him and Jackson, like introducing their friendship at the start with the video game, and only seeing Donald Gibb like here and there in some movies, but him actually having a proper character in this, I was like, whatever happened to this guy? Like, he was really great. And of course we would know that this would become later Mortal Kombat, but also would become somewhat the Quest later on, and we never get a character like that again, like someone like Donald Gibb. But seeing Forrest Whitaker in this was really more like interesting, because looking back at this and wondering, is that Forrest Whitaker? What the hell? What was he doing in this movie? And Bolo Young saying like the line that Bruce Lee used to say in Enter the Dragon, but saying brick hit back, don't hit back. And I just realized someone should actually say bricks and boards can hit back if you toss them at the person. But that's just me. But on that, like, the film was really good at its time. I think my only negative is, I would say, definitely needs more Donald Gibb. Needs more Donald Gibb in it. That's it.
All right. Copy that. Eric.
Ooh. So yeah, this one. There are some. I'm sure somebody's going to bring up the, I guess, unrealistic history of the main character of this film. But I just want to bring an IMDb trivia quote, which is one of my favorites of recent memory. It's the last IMDb trivia. The movie claims that Frank Dukes won 56 matches in a tournament. This is not only pure fiction, it is mathematically impossible. It would require 2 to the 56 power participants, or more than 9 million times the population of planet Earth. Oh yeah, I'll leave that one at that. Yeah, I think one of the best aspects of this film is the contrast in fighting styles. You know, even at the beginning, you see the different guys training in their different styles, and you're kind of intrigued, you know, how these matches are going to go. And then it's just like it's a mix and match. And during the tournaments, you got these guys with really crazy different styles fighting each other, which I always find really fun to watch. And sometimes you're not really sure who they're going to have win the match, which is quite fun. The most unexpected moment of the entire film is when Jackson gets the best of Chong Li. He actually beats him, but he screws up because he doesn't finish him off. He just starts celebrating. And looking back on it, usually like the supporting character just gets owned by the villain. But this dude actually got the better of him in a match. So I kind of like that. That was pretty cool. Worst performance goes to the young version of Frank Dukes. The funniest thing is when I was rewatching the film at some point in the past, I'm like, you know what? This guy reminds me of Eli Manning, quarterback of the New York Giants. And sure enough, in the next freaking scene, he's wearing a Giants uniform. So I was just like laughing at that one.
Why did it today him, but not me?
Yeah. And then there's some good one-liners, like who cares if Bruce Springsteen is a Shidoshi? You know, like, that was a good one. And yeah, it's just it's always just a lot of fun. I like the city, you know what I mean? The showcasing of the urban areas is pretty neat and very well paced. And the finale is legit. So this one, it's like super easy to sit through, really nicely paced, and I've seen it, 50 times. So yeah, it's one of Van Damme's best movies.
Yeah, copy that. Nice, very very well said. And again, a good point bringing up all the different fighting styles is a lot of fun. And one of the reasons why we want to put both of these movies together, like Tony was saying, is you got two movies that are a little similar, but these two movies have the two villains that Van Damme fans always debate to this day. Which movie has a better villain, Chong Li or Tong Po? And it's funny because a lot of people, I'm sure casuals, don't know that Tong Po was actually in this. And Tong Po actually had a fight with Bolo, but the actor that plays Tong Po, Michael Kissy, that's him right there. And I like their fight. Their fight was pretty good until his knee got fucked up.
I think that was the first time I ever saw a bone come out of somebody's leg in a movie, and I was like, oh my god! I'm like a young kid.
I think Alex is having some internet issues, but we'll keep it rocking and rolling. Let's go straight to the other samurai in the room. David, thoughts on Bloodsport?
Not to give it away, but I did make a video titled "Why Bloodsport is the greatest martial arts movie of all time." All right. Anyway, there's good reason, man. You guys obviously talked about some of it. That score is ridiculously awesome. I still listen to that in the gym all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, the fights. The thing I really like about Bloodsport. Oh, and by the way, that is pretty much why the movie got made, because of the title. Sheldon Lettich and Frank Dukes, Frank Dukes was talking to Sheldon Lettich about the Kumite matches and all this stuff. And he said, hey, we used to call it Bloodsport. And Sheldon's like, oh, that is good. Mm-hmm. So anyway, and then Cannon loved the title too. So the name actually is a big reason why it even got made. But something really interesting. I don't know if you guys heard about the initial cut, because it sat on shelves for 2 years. It was done shooting in 86, but didn't come out till 88. Menachem hated it, and apparently during the screening, Sheldon Lettich, Van Damme, everybody, they were very depressed after watching it, And then they got a different editor, and Van Damme helped edit and did the fight scenes and stuff. And then it just it turned out so great. So it's kind of incredible. It could have been apparently just such a shitty movie, but instead it's something we're talking about 30 plus years later. So I think the only thing I really don't like about it is it's kind of what Asian movie enthusiasts mentioned, like the young Frank Dukes character. Like that's like some of the worst acting I've ever seen, you know. But it makes everybody else in the movie look that much better. So that's the silver lining. But oh man, there's just too much to talk about. I think the thing that sticks out most to me is even though the title is called Bloodsport, and it is like a little gruesome, like when the guy's knee, you know, is out of his leg. And they actually had more gruesome stuff too. Like, you know, the monkey dude who fought the sumo guy, his face and nose got ripped off, but they cut that part out. Like, I don't think I wanted to see that, to be honest with you. The thing that I like about Bloodsport is even though you go with the title and you're just thinking like very brutal, I found the martial arts just so beautiful and graceful, and that's why I like to watch it. And that's what inspired me. You know,
right?
So
you take martial arts yourself,
yeah. That was
do your own Van Damme kicks. I'm seeing you on Instagram doing them.
Yeah,
kicks.
yeah. I'm doing all that stuff on Instagram. So follow me on
Pretty
Instagram
badass,
if you guys
man.
want to see some Van Damage on there. But
so, is there a way we can watch these deleted scenes, or they're just gone?
You know, I don't know. I'm almost curious to like want to watch that original cut of Bloodsport, but I don't know if like you can find it anywhere.
Dude, he gets his face ripped off. I think I want to see that.
You want to see that part? Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. But maybe that was in the original cut.
You know, I heard
it's kind of like a depressing scene.
Yeah, maybe. You know, I heard the same thing actually about First Blood. I heard the first cut of First Blood was atrocious. They thought they had a bomb. Like it was too long. They thought they had they were like, oh man, we made a huge mistake. And then they went in and re-edited and all that stuff, and then that's a classic. First Blood's a classic. So
Didn't
I guess
Star
that
Wars
happens
have
sometimes.
the same thing happen to it?
Did it?
I thought the
Rob?
original Star Wars had editing issues at first.
Have you heard that, Rob? About the original Star Wars?
No,
Okay.
I can't. But it's possible. I mean, George Lucas. So
we all just remember we all have to thank Destruction Alley, or if it wasn't for them, Star Wars would have never got made. Right?
Damnation Alley, you mean?
Damnation Alley, yeah.
We don't want to talk about Damnation Alley.
We don't want to talk about that.
But the behind the scenes talk of Damnation Alley is interesting if you guys are interested in that. But back to fighting. So it looks like we lost the Kung Fu genius. His internet just went to shit. So unfortunately we don't have him, but we're going to keep rocking and rolling. But he did make the effort. He did show up to participate. So his voice counts. And I know what it is. I'll let you guys know towards the end. All right. Kyle. I mean, not Kyle. Frankie.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah. You're good, Frankie.
I was super late into watching this movie because I was such an Arnold and Sylvester Stallone fan. I was such an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, my friend had a VHS copy of Bloodsport. It's like, we got to check this out. I'm like, bro, Predator or nothing. And I was like, I missed out. So, I was like, Time Cop. That's when I got into Jean-Claude Van Damme, like, way too late. And then barely, like, eventually Kickboxer, I got all that. And then finally saw The Quest. And then I saw Bloodsport. And then I was like, what the fuck? This is just The Quest. Oh, my God. And better. Like, what the fuck? It's so late. But, I mean, it's amazing. I love it. It's great. What I really like about it is what, like, Jean-Claude Van Damme in his early movies, he took it so seriously. You can see it. Like, you know, his English is not great, but he's taking it so seriously. No matter wacky shit he's saying, he believes 110%. And that's what I really respect about that. And what I really also dig was Jackson. And also, because Jackson was so cool, he said my name right because no one says Frankie right. And he says, Frankie. And I'm like, that's how my mom yelled at me. My dad yelled at me that way. Not
yo, Frankie.
Yeah, so, yeah. I was watching it recently. I was like, oh, yeah. And then, of course, Bolo, which I saw in Double Impact with the dead eye, and that scared the shit out of me. And I'm like, dude, he's in this too? So, and then, you know, his beautiful pecs, how he, like, flexes them and shit. Like, that's amazing. You know? I mean, I just liked it, how it was. I mean, yes, of course, yeah, the retarded, the younger version of himself wearing a Giants hat and a Giants t-shirt, but a Giants football and Giants. If you notice that, it's like, what? And then I agree with most everybody's saying, but my one gripe, it's kind of like it has like that Commando thing where he's amazing to start with and he's amazing at the end. Like, nothing changes. I don't know. Like, that's my deal. I mean, he's still fucking amazing, but I mean, I just feel like the sand in the eye. It's like, okay, he already knows that. It's not like, oh fuck, I don't know, like with Kickboxer, arms tied behind his back, kind of like they have his, his brother, and he can't fight, and like I don't.
I'm
But,
sensing. I think I know what the vote. All right, keep going. Keep going. Are you done?
No, I think that's. I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I love. Yeah, I love it. It's fun.
All right, Rob.
Yo. So this
Adrian.
is. I was very, very excited to do this tonight because I love Van Damme, and this is probably going to be the toughest choice I've ever had on your podcast with these verses. Bloodsport brings back so many memories. Mainly, now I don't know if you guys experienced this. When I was younger, this was a big talk, even on the news, because at this time, this movie was considered excessively violent. Now, you think about it now, obviously it pales in comparison to what we see, especially if you see a movie like The Suicide Squad. But at that time, I remember even hearing on the news, there was this guy on every day he'd give like a movie review, a random movie review of a movie that came out, and he would say, "Oh, don't let your kids watch this. It's extraordinarily violent. I don't like this and this and that." I'm like, wow, I got to check this out.
Yeah.
Now, I was still too young to watch it. When it came out, I was like 11 years old. But a friend of mine who was a little bit older had a copy of the movie, and I remember watching it, and I was amazed. And not only because I was like, "Oh, violence, this and that," but one of my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movies is actually Cyborg. That's like one of my favorites.
David,
And,
show him the poster, David. Show him the poster.
Fender, man.
Yeah, Cyborg poster right in the back.
Love Cyborg. And so this movie, though, to me was the movie that kind of put Jean-Claude out there. You know what I mean? Like that. This was the movie for him. And to his credit, he did an excellent job. I think this is some of the best acting he's ever done, in my opinion. Later on, as he's gotten older, I've heard some of his older movies, he's done really, really well. But what amazed me about this movie as I got older, and I've seen it dozens of times, this movie, when you look past the wonderful martial arts, the great music, this actually has a very good story. You know, believe what you want about what happens on the outside, but in terms of the movie in and of itself, you have a bond that's built between two people that are just from completely two different parts of the world. You know what I mean? Two different personalities. One is larger than life. One is more reserved, but the chemistry there is just really good, which is also surprising for me with the actor who plays Jackson, because like somebody said here, he's from the Nerds. You know what I mean? Revenge of the Nerds. But I still like that bond, you know. Mm-hmm. There's a sense of honor with the character that with Frank Dukes that I really like. It's just the build up towards the tournament. You know, what happens to his friend. I mean, there's so much going on. It's actually surprising when you sit back and look at the movie and say, wow, this is actually a very well-rounded movie, which you don't really hear a lot with martial arts movies. You know, most people are like, oh, just fighting. But there are a lot of things I like about this movie from beginning to end. The training sequences, despite how bad the kid was, at least you got to see an idea of what it was like for him to kind of earn his spot, you know, and then learn the kind of martial arts that he was basically not ever supposed to learn. He was basically there to be, you know, a training partner for the son. And then he finally got his way in once the son unfortunately passed away. And then you see him honor that. And he goes through the fighting. And then Bolo Yang, the first time I ever saw him was in Enter the Dragon, best man titties I've ever seen. And, you know what I mean? I mean,
We're stopping the stream right now. We're in
Yeah. I'll call you later, Tony. But overall, this is a fantastic movie. It's one of the movies that if it pops up on TV, I stop to watch it, which I don't normally do with a lot of movies that pop up. Because I'm like, oh, I got that. I can pop that in any time. But for some reason, Bloodsport is one of the movies that if I see it on TV, I will stop and watch it. Commercial be damned, I will watch it. So love the movie. One of Jean-Claude Van Damme's best, if not maybe his best, because I'm also a big fan of Time Cop. And yeah, man, this is going to be a tough choice for me tonight.
Yeah. Oh, he's trying. He's back. And he's gone. All right.
Save the cheerleader.
I'll keep an eye out for him and keep trying to bring him in here. Well, good thing I didn't say what his vote was. That'd be ruin him coming back. Say it. Say it. God damn. It's good stuff. Now tell me, man. Tell me if you didn't do the same thing when you were. Well, Frankie, you weren't around yet, Frankie. But when you were younger and you saw this scene for the first time, tell me you did not yell along with Van Damme. Come on now. When you first seen this scene, I was like, ah! I felt it. I got the feels. Legit talk though, best kick in the movie for me. This is my favorite kick in the movie.
Oh,
that's the best kick.
I like
that.
That
is
scene
my favorite
when they're going
kick
back and forth.
Yeah,
I love that.
Come on. He's like, come on.
I like too when that guy's like doing this to him, and then
Yeah.
and actually he falls down.
This dude's actually a Muay Thai champ. I keep forgetting his name, but he's a legit actor. He actually showed up in Death Warrant as well as using that as well. But yeah, that's some legit shit right there.
And I actually heard that they actually kicked each other for real while filming that scene, like on those sides. I was like, damn.
Come on.
You can tell.
Yeah.
It's like they're not holding back. They're swinging, So
I mean, that spin kick even connected at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it hit some dude.
Right.
You could tell from the
there
camera
on the jaw.
Once again. Boom. Look at that. Ah. Sorry. I had to add that. It's fun. All right. Let's go ahead and do some Kickboxer. While I'm looking up Kickboxer, David, was there any other trivia or fun facts about Bloodsport?
Yeah, here goes one. So even when I seen it when I was 10, I mean, I didn't do the math that the Asian movie enthusiast brought up about how many guys he won in the competition. Like, I didn't do the math back then, but the thing that really threw me off and made me question it, because, like when you see based on true story when you're 10, you're like, oh yeah, that's all true. The whole thing. It's like a documentary, right? That's what you think when you're 10. But the thing that threw me off was like, how do they know how fast he kicked? Didn't it say he had I forget, it's like 70 miles an hour or something like that, his kick?
Right.
So I asked Sheldon about that, who asked Frank Dukes. And he's like, well, he said they had multiple cameras and they would film that, but then they would remove it for the competition because it's a secret competition.
Oh, my God.
He's got it all thought out, man. Frank
I
Dukes.
just assumed there was a cop with a radar gun.
All right, you're good for the day. Bye.
Wow. That's
It's
crazy.
like, it's like the guy at the baseball game that's behind the backstop. He's just sitting there like, man, that's a strike. That's a strike.
Oh, man. We got a super chat here. Thanks, Flicks, for the super chat and the support. These movies can be seen as relative today if you didn't see them when they came out, but these are the reasons some action movies are good today. Yes. They have inspired a new generation. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But Kickboxer, man, 1989, the very next year. But, David brought up a good point. Technically, Bloodsport was supposed to come out 2 years earlier, right, David?
Mm-hmm.
So, Kickboxer, directed by, it says two directors here, David. It says David Worth and Mark DeSale. Do you know anything about that?
I actually haven't done a deep dive on that yet. I've been meaning to forever.
Did somebody get fired?
I know DeSale was the producer, and he had the initial idea. Like, he actually met Sheldon Lettich before they ever made Bloodsport.
Okay.
And he had this idea to do a martial arts film, but obviously Bloodsport got made prior to that. And Sheldon Lettich in an interview talked about some really ridiculous, stupid scene from Kickboxer that thank God it wasn't in the movie.
Oh.
I think Van Damme's character's mom or something was cooking something in the kitchen, and Tong Po went in the house and kicked her or something, some ridiculous thing like that. So, obviously, the original script wasn't that great.
Yo, what you cooking, bitch?
I'm sorry. That was the last thing I was expecting to hear. What?
That shit better be ramen.
Yeah, imagine what I'll find out when I do a deep dive on it. This is just what I ran across, happened to run across.
That is funny. Oh, they should have kept that scene in there.
That food is good.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. They're really coming off.
That's what you get now. You bleed like your mom.
Oh my God.
Your mom. Oh, fuck.
Oh my god. Oh my god, son. Breakfast is ready.
Well, speaking of the two
I'm
directors,
here for motherfucking breakfast, bitch. What you cooking?
speaking
Oh
of the
my
two
God.
directors, I'm pretty sure Van Damme did like direct the fight scenes.
Okay.
And he edited all that. Same with Bloodsport, same with
Oh my
Kickboxer,
God.
Lionheart, Deathmore. That's why all those movies, he still can't get over that. But that's why all those movies have that same feel. You know, Van Damme edited all this stuff.
Wow.
Oh,
At least the
okay.
fight scenes, not the whole movies, obviously, but
Well, he did a
I'm
good
sorry,
job,
that
though.
just
an amazing job, man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The visuals there. The visual is still in my head. Tong Po in the kitchen beating somebody up. All right. All right. Kickboxer 1989. Plot synopsis. Kurt Sloan must learn the ancient kickboxing art of Muay Thai in order to avenge his brother. Starring our boy and legit badass kickboxing champ, Dennis Alexio, right, David?
Oh, yeah, he's a real deal, man.
That dude
nicknamed
is
Terminator, I'm pretty sure.
That dude is a bad dude in real life. Also stars Dennis Chan and, of course, Michael Cassie. And, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Kickboxer. I love the brother scene. I love that. When he's like, can he move like me? Because Van Damme's trying to warn him. He's like, yo, we need to take some time and study this Tong Po, all right? All right? I just heard some random thumping, and I went to investigate, all right? And this dude is fucking kicking the pillar, okay? He's kicking the pillar, and the ceiling is falling down. All right, yeah. We need to take some time, and let's put a pause on this fight. And his brother's like, yeah, but can he move like me? He did that little combination. He was so fast. I was like, this dude's legit. And it's funny because my dad, who used to watch kickboxing in the 80s, instantly recognized who Dennis was. He's like, oh yeah, that guy's a bad dude. But Kickboxer, I actually saw this in the theater, son. I saw this in the theater, and it was one of the best movie-going, experiences I ever had growing up. My parents were out of town, so my oldest sister, who actually tipped me off to Van Damme. She was a Van Damme fan first, and she told me about him. And of course, I watched Bloodsport with my dad on TV, but she was like, she was brought in to kind of watch Little Samurai, keep an eye out while the parents are gone. And she's like, hey, let's go to the movies. New Van Damme flick just dropped. Kickboxer, let's go. I'm not going to say no to that. This is awesome. So we went, man, it was just such a fun experience. And I always use Kickboxer as an example of stuff in movie theaters now. It's extremely rare. You will have the audience cheer, jump up, and clap. That is extremely rare now. You might get it at the end of Avengers Endgame when Cap caught the hammer, when everybody showed up to fight Thanos. The crowd cheered for that. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, right at the very first fight sequence. Nobody over here in America has seen a fight sequence like that before. When Michelle Yeoh fought Zhang Ziyi, as soon as that fight ended, when the drums stopped playing, the crowd was like going nuts. They'd never seen anything like that before here in America. And I always use that, Crouching Tiger, and Kickboxer. When the finale went down at the end and he was getting the upper hand on Tong Po, the audience that I was sitting with, it was a full house, cheered, clapped, and some people were even jumping up. You do not experience that anymore. Now, when we were very fortunate to see extremely awesome, badass movies like the Raid films, that's a different type of experience. That is, you have to take a breath because you're like, holy shit, that was fucking amazing, right? When people were getting sliced up in blood and all this crazy shit was happening, nobody was like, nobody was doing that. It was more like silence, like, woo, holy fuck, did you just see that? Different type of experience. But in terms of the crowd clapping, cheering, going crazy, that's very rare. As many times as I went to the movie theaters, that was very rare that something like that would happen for a martial arts fight flick that was based around martial arts that was released here in America on mainstream cinemas. That is extremely rare. And that's why, unfortunately, martial arts flicks that are based on martial arts, it's dead. It's dead here in America. And Mortal Kombat was a fluke because it had the brand. If it didn't have the brand, nobody would have gave a shit about Mortal Kombat. Oh, some tournament fighting movie. Who wants to watch that, right? Shang-Chi is going to be saved by the brand. Hopefully, Shang-Chi's good. Hopefully, it's dope, right? But, foreign countries and straight-to-video stuff or straight-to-streaming is where martial arts is still alive in terms of movies based on martial arts. But, this era is obviously past, but it's such a funny, and just a fun, fantastic flick. And again, I don't want to talk too much. I want to give everybody a chance. But back in 1989, this scene right here, and y'all know what scene I'm about to click on, has to be the greatest drunk dancing scene in the history of movies. And the whole theater was in tears. The whole theater was dying laughing with that scene. Everybody was having a good time. But let's go see the man's moves right here. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Look at that. Look at that. You know what's funny about this scene? Look at this. Is the greatest thing ever. You know what's funny about this scene? As bad as Van Damme's dancing is, if you look closely, the female's dancing is actually worse than Van Damme. They are all offbeat if you watch the movie. They're horrible. But I like this one here. Oh wait, what? Oh, we're gonna grind it now. We got the grind. Oh shit! Oh shit! We got the grind, son. What?
He's so good.
What?
That's a flex right there.
You knew he was having fun with that.
It's such an iconic scene that 5 billion years later, they redid and reenacted this scene on Conan. Even the bar fight. They even redid the bar fight first, and then they did the Van Damme dancing, which was hilarious. But yeah, just nothing but good memories and a good time watching Kickboxer, and I think that's it. Let's go ahead and go to Tony.
Yeah, I probably only saw this a few times in the past, and it's been years since I've seen it, and I watched it today for the first time in a long time. On Blu-ray, because I couldn't find it on streaming or anything. But I would say it looked good. It held up, I guess. Like, it didn't ruin anything. Like, there's nothing you could see that would ruin it. But yeah, I don't know. I was watched because we're talking about Bloodsport and this. I guess I had Bloodsport comparing it, and I'm thinking, like, there's a montage in this, or not? Is that what we call, like, where he's walking and he's like upset? He, like, has one of those. It's kind of like similar music in a way, and which is fine. But I guess I was just thinking of Bloodsport, because that was before this. I remember him getting the training with the legs, and you can hear the crunching. But I think the one in Bloodsport looked more painful. Because he's got all of them out, and then he like does the music behind it, and he's like starts thinking, and he just like pulls it down. It's like it's like so good. But like, it was neat to see this again, and I didn't remember anything from watching this. I remember Tong Po, of course, and now I could say I think Chung Li is the bigger villain now.
Okay.
Tong Po, of course, did the R word with, what's her name?
Yeah,
Mai Li.
Mai Li. Good
Yeah.
fuck. He did it with her, but Chung Li killed a guy and didn't give a shit. Put Jackson in the hospital. He's just he's a dirty fighter. But Tong Po is basically a bitch. He's like the big guy's bitch.
Shots fired.
I think so.
Oh, look at that.
If it wasn't, he's kind of like their muscle, And but I mean, I wouldn't want to screw with him either. But But I did like the movie. I like the ending fight. I like when I'm thinking to myself, is this brother going to show up so he could start fighting? And then when he does, it's like you're like, all right, good. And then he starts really giving it to him, and he does the like that. And it was a good movie. I enjoyed it, but I can't believe I don't remember it as much as I thought I would. I remembered the glass part,
right,
which was like really cool, and then like, it was. don't really have much to say
Gummy
about
bear,
it.
sprinkles. I'm sure you guys remember that.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was a good
All
movie,
right.
and I've
Copy
never
that.
seen any other Kickboxer. I have them all. No, I've probably seen the second and third one, but I
Right.
don't remember them.
I don't remember the Sasha Mitchell ones either.
No.
I'd have to rewatch those. Ugh.
But and then when I said
I'll ask
earlier,
David.
I think
David,
this
should
stuff-
I watch the sequels?
You could watch 2 and then 3. I wouldn't watch 4.
Okay.
Don't watch 4.
Is 4 the one?
It's not even the real Tong Po, man.
Okay, the 4 is the one with Diet Tong Po with the fake bald cap.
There it is.
And they go to Mexico. Yeah.
Diet Tong Po.
And there was a TV movie that was number 5 with Mark Dacascos.
Oh God. I didn't even bring that up. Yeah, but he had to stop that after 3 anyway. So
Okay, all right.
Well, I also said to you before we started the show, I said I think this is the first time I've ever seen Van Damme cry in a movie, and he's a terrible crier. Like he looks terrible. Like I look like that too.
Right,
Like
right.
that's why like if I cry, it's like nobody's looking at my face because it's terrible looking. And it was weird. I thought, wow, I never saw him cry before. That was, and it's emotional. It's you feel for it. And I thought the brother died. I remember the brother dying for some reason, and then he didn't. I was like, okay, good. And that's kind of like too, like he kicked the towel. He's like, what the fuck, man? You asshole! Hey, asshole! It's like Tong Po's just such an asshole. That's all it is. I don't know. I sound like such an idiot. Just go to somebody
Chong
else.
Lee's a killer. Tong Po's an asshole. Got it. Perfect. You know what's funny? I heard someone say this. It's actually kind of funny. Someone said that Tong Po scared them. They're frightened of Tong Po. They didn't want to look at him. They said Chong Lee, unfortunately, had a Kylo Ren experience. So you know how Kylo Ren was like the most badass dude ever until he took his helmet off, and then that was it. The mystique and fear left. They said with Chong Lee, it's when he started screaming. That super high pitched scream he had. Some people were like, "Oh, that's it. It's over. It's ruined. That's it. I don't fear him anymore. He sounds like a baby." That made me laugh.
Want to cuddle him?
Yeah. All right, Kyle.
So definitely, I watched this after renting it from the old Blockbuster, and
Blockbuster. What's that?
Yeah. Blockbuster was where we used to rent movies, VHS and DVDs until Netflix. There's a documentary about that. But I remember watching this right after getting into the Van Damme craze, and I just remember that scene, the introduction scene with Tong Po kicking
It's one of the
freaking
greatest
killer.
scenes ever.
And I can attest that is a real thing. Well, Muay Thai kickboxers kicking everything just to condition their shins, because my cousin says, "Test me out." I'm like, "Test what out?" Kick my shin. I'm like, and I tapped his shin, and I was like, "Fuck you. We're family, but fuck you." I literally had to do the Peter Griffin go after one tap. But the relationship between Van Damme and Dennis when it first starts, that in the open and getting to know each other and getting to know the characters, understanding that they are brothers. And then when you actually meet Winston Taylor, the former Green Beret, I was like, whatever happened to this character? Whatever happened to this guy? And yet he just did not want to be involved at all until, okay, so you serious about doing this whole Muay Thai thing? Okay. Well, we're going drinking first, then I'll take you. I'm just like, this guy just wants to party. It's just fun. He just wants to party. And then, okay, you want to stay or you want to go? No, I'll stay. Yeah, stay for the whole training with Cien. The Master Cien was pretty awesome, I would say. His training methods about the same as Roy Chow's methods, too. Just, all right, time to do the splits. Why? We don't know. But actually, kind of understanding now, needing the flexibility to kick high if needed. But dropping coconuts at a certain height to just test condition yourself for hits. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate.
I think he was more fun too, Kyle, because he was enjoying it.
Yeah, he's like, you want to
enjoying torturing him.
and having him train to kick the palm tree just to
Oh.
kicking the palm tree.
Oh my God.
The first time he tries to kick the palm tree, and then he's about to raise Van Damme's hand. He's like, nah. Then raises the leaf, like, window the palm tree. And then after just tells him, oh, yeah, take your bags and leave after he doesn't want to kick the tree again. And then he just goes, your brother, remember? And then he just kicks the tree with all of his anger. It just knocks it down.
Like this? Like this? Oh, it's great. I love
And then
that
he just
scene.
falls over in pain, like, oh my God.
No worries.
Like, he's just straight in pain, like, why? But
That was
then
great.
after that, he just continues training. But yeah, like, once the main fight happens, I just appreciated like how they kept it very old school Muay Thai with wrapped in twine, and then the glass part. I was just like, well, this is gonna happen. And as Rob will pull up the quoted line after like taunting Van Damme, we got like him taunting with Myling, but I'm gonna go with the now. Tong Po just wants to tell Van Damme that his mom's a good cook now.
Oh my God. I love your
other-
mom's cooking.
Mom, good cook.
David, what have you done, David?
I gotta get the word out, man, on that original script.
I'm so happy you told us.
The only downside I would say is probably when he's like trying to find a Muay Thai gym is the song. This one song that keeps playing where it's going, fight for love. That's the only downside of that.
Fight for
movie is
love?
Just that song playing, like, dude. Yes. That is pure 80s cheese, and yet I do love it, but I hate it at the same time because of that.
Fight for love. All right. Anything else, Kyle?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Eric.
Yeah, like there are some lessons to be learned from this. You know, his big brother has a little bit of an ego problem. You know, he makes the big mistake of just underestimating his opponent. You know what I mean? And he pays the price for it. And there's kind of a lesson there to be learned. You could be the best fighter in town, but there's always somebody out there who's better than you, man. You got to keep your edge and keep learning. So I kind of like that, actually. It's part of the plot. I do like, you know, I actually like Van Damme's performances in both these films, to be honest. And we get another pretty entertaining side character here in Winston Taylor. I kind of like that guy in this. The guy with the cigar. He's pretty entertaining. But Dennis Chan steals the show, is the master. He's so funny. Remember the one line he's like, I tell them that you said they're not good fighters and that their mothers have sex with mules. That's what those guys fighting. So it's good. The training, like the whole montage training is actually really good. A lot of variety. The underwater scene where he's doing the underwater forms and stuff. And yeah. I like the part where he puts the meat on his leg and the dogs chase him. That was pretty funny. And the final fight.
Your defense stinks.
Yeah. And then the final fight is cool with like the glass and everything. But you know, the one thing I noticed, especially this time in the final fight, that I'm not sure I like this aspect of it.
Okay.
Is that half of the fight isn't real. It's a dog and pony show. So once Van Damme decides to fight, Tong Po gets in 0 hits. Once Van Damme decides to start fight. I don't know if I like that. So I kind of wish Tong Po would have been a little bit tougher to take down during the second half of the fight.
Right.
But that's really my only negative there. But yeah,
I think then Chong Li actually got some hits in.
Oh yeah,
before
even though he cheated, he still he cheated fair and square. He cheated. You know, it was him who did it. So you know, but yeah, entertaining flick for sure.
Nice, Frankie.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I was late to the party. I mean, again, I eventually, because I got into Universal Soldier, and I was like, all right, I got to check out this Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I found a beat up, like, at the rental shop at a mom and pop, not even Blockbuster, of Kickboxer. And I saw the cover, and there's Tong Po right there, and I was like, what is this thing? Like, what is this face? Like, the makeup on it, like, it just freaked me out. So I put it in, and it was like almost degraded, kind of. So I couldn't even really see Tong Po, and I still don't know what Tong Po really looks like. He just creeped the hell out of me. when they revealed him kicking that the column and shit, I was like, this guy's the scariest guy ever. and then when he does the dance and the brother's like whatever about is the Muay Thai dance before they start the match, I was like, fuck this guy. This guy's a whatever. And then it breaks the brother's back and it's horrible. But I like when they take out the brother and they just throw him out in the street, like that freaked me out as a kid too, because like I was doing judo tournaments and I would be in these like areas, gymnasiums out like in the downtown area, and I'd be like freaked out, like, oh my god, what if that happens to me? They're just gonna throw me out there. And yeah, I never want to travel to Thailand now. But but I mean, yeah, what was it? Winston, he has his comeuppance again with his gun and his cigar in his mouth. That was great. I like the brother. I mean, how like his back's broken and he's in a wheelchair, but he's still like supportive of his brother too. Like that's like a cool thing where he seemed kind of like don't fight Tong Po and all that shit. But also I love when they do these things. Yes, give me Tong Po. But I always like when they shuffle. Okay, like the idea here is like his brother's the better fighter. And then he has to learn, even though we all know that Jean-Claude Van Damme's fucking amazing too. Like, so I always like that when they fold in movies, they make a character like he's not the greatest now, but he will become later. I just like that in a weird way with that, and I like, I don't know, Jean-Claude Van Damme's really fun in this one. How goofy he is, trying to learn and be how he is. When he goes in that village and he sprinkles water at kids and then shakes a random kid's head for no apparent reason. It was like, oh, okay, that's. All right, you're from Belgium, all right? Yeah, okay. We don't do that here, okay? But I don't know. Yeah, and then I love all the Stan Bush music that just comes out of nowhere and hits you over the head. That 80s music, it's great. And then the training with the Thai temple in the back. I mean, that's like Mortal Kombat and all that shit rips that off.
Nice.
So, that's what.
All right, he approves. David.
Yeah, Kickboxer, just like Bloodsport, there are so many great ideas, so many iconic scenes, an amazing score. The thing I like about Kickboxer more, I'll give it the edge for like the training. There's so many cool things like with the coconut. When he kicks the pot, he does that spinning roundhouse and he does that jumping spin kick and breaks those pots. The dog chasing him with the meat, like so many like memorable things, knocking the palm tree down. And just the story, though, about like, American kickboxing versus Thai kickboxing. And they had that like Rufus fight, I think, in Vegas or something, where it's like, okay, these Thai guys are the shit. You got to attack the legs. And then they started like, it's like, oh, we got to learn leg kicks.
Yep.
But so, yeah, there's a lot of truth to that where the American kickboxers weren't doing that great in real life. But yeah, there's just so many memorable scenes. I will say this, too. I think the end fight, I'll give it the edge. I mean, I do have the same complaint that Asian movie enthusiasts had as far as, Tong Po doesn't land one hit. He almost seems like too easy to beat once Van Damme's actually allowed to fight. It almost seems too easy. And then there's not really Muay Thai. It's more like, well, this is just Van Damme's best looking karate moves kind of type fight, even though the movie's called Kickboxer. So that part's kind of funny. But I will say this, it's like it's more polished. I will say the fight in Kickboxer is probably like the most cinematic fight scene you'll ever see, just with that little clip you show, just the different edits and all that. It's just in such a cool setting. Like, look at that. That is just beautiful. So it's a little more polished because he had already done Bloodsport. So I figured he really's got it down now. And like I mentioned, like he directed the fights and then he edited it. But so this is just... And there's another video I did called Why Jean-Claude Van Damme is the Best On-Screen Fighter Ever. Because I'm not saying he's like the most technically proficient, though he's very good and very explosive and very graceful. But he essentially knows how to showcase himself better than anybody, in my opinion. And this movie is like a prime example of that.
All right. Nice. Anything else? Any other negatives, David?
The negatives. Okay, here's one, because this kind of made Kickboxer 2 not make sense. There's like a little bit of dialogue when they talk about like they're their only family. Like they grew up, I think one of them with the mom, one with the dad, but it's only them. Whereas like all of a sudden you start Kickboxer 2 and there's this third brother, It's like, and they never address that too. It's like he's always been around.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So the sequels don't exist. All right.
Not really.
Rob.
All right. So this is I love this movie because this brings back fond memories of me and my cousins. But we were huge. We used to get together on the weekends. Saturday morning, we always used to watch the not Saturday morning, like Saturday afternoon after the Saturday morning cartoons. They'd always give martial arts movies on Fox. And so we used to spend the weekends watching that. And then we'd start watching Van Damme movies, like just on complete rotation, but we always loved Kickboxer. And the reason for that is the whole training sequence. We even took that scene with the tree. That tree scene used to get us fired up.
Oh yeah.
So what we did was we used to just before I actually started paying attention to some of the plot of the movie, the first few times we watched it, we didn't even really remember the name of his brother. So we thought his name was Johnny. So we used to mimic that scene, kicking the tree, and be like, for Johnny, for Johnny, for Johnny. And it became a running joke that we still say today, even though we know now that's not his name. But I personally find Tong Po to be a little bit more of an intimidating villain. Bolo or Chun-Li was more charismatic and egotistic, but Tong Po to me was foreboding. He used to almost like invite you in, which would make you reluctant. Like you remember that ending fight scene, a couple of times he would like tap certain parts, or he'd invite Van Damme to hit him. Yeah, or he would tell him what's coming.
Yeah.
And that's kind of eerie. You know, it's like you're like, whoa, what is this dude doing? Like, and he just had that smug look. This dude never smiled. He never cheered like a cheerleader. He was all business, kicking the pole. He broke his brother. I mean, that is some devastating shit. So even though Chun-Li was obviously badass, I have Tong Po stuck in my head as to be just a more intimidating villain. So for that reason, he gets my top billing. The training sequence for me is what makes this movie. I agree with some of the criticism of the final fight where the second half, it's all Van Damme. And that doesn't disappoint me because you want to see the guy win. You're a Van Damme fan, but it's definitely not as impactful as the Bloodsport ending fight. But the relationship with the brother also to me is not as strong as his relationship with Jackson. But I got to be fair here and say that the person who plays his brother, I forget his name, but I knew that he wasn't an actor. He was a real life martial artist. So I got to be fair and take that into account, that maybe he couldn't develop that kind of chemistry where Jackson, the actor who played Jackson, is obviously a trained actor. So I have to kind of try and even it out there. I thought the training sequence in this movie was better. I thought the master was better. He was very charismatic, very funny, but also very serious and a very good teacher. And I just thought, you know, when you consider what Tong Po did, you know, with the R word, I mean, to me, when I think about that and I think about Chun-Li, I just find Tong Po to be the more devastating, more intimidating villain. And to me, that's a little bit more impactful. Van Damme was great in this movie once again. I thought he did a decent job portraying himself as not very competent as a fighter until he got the training. So credit to that, because you know when you have been doing that your whole life, it's kind of tough to hold back. And I think he did a pretty decent job doing that. And I think that's something that gets overlooked. But overall, I love this movie. I love Kickboxer, and this is going to be the toughest choice of any verses that I've ever had. Honestly, this will be the toughest because I love both these movies.
Nice. And we got we got director Ranjit Marwa here hanging out with us. Hold on a second. He says Kickboxer for him. Yeah, look at that. Nice, Ranjit. Nice. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. We're about to wrap it up, but thanks for hanging out. Thanks for popping in for a little bit. But yeah, all right. Very well said. Rob, are you guys ready to vote?
Yeah,
you ready to vote? Let's do this. It is time to vote for Monkey Guy getting his face ripped off, or Van Damme's mom getting the shit kicked out of her in the kitchen by Tong Po. It's time to vote. All right, I'll go last because it's fun like that. Eric, who you got?
Wow. I like Kickboxer, but in terms of pure entertainment value from start to finish, I'm going Bloodsport.
All right, we got some Bloodsport. Frankie.
they're all. I love them both. So I mean, but the one, Nuxu cow, bro.
Oh man, look at that. All right, interesting. Tony, who you got?
Well, I think Kickboxer's a little too goofy for me at
Okay.
times, like with the dog and that. So I'm gonna go with Time Cop. Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
And tell me that's not a great double feature right there.
There you go. There you go. All right, Bloodsport for Tony. Kyle.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's 2-1. It's 2-1.
Definitely grew up with like seeing Bolo and Bloodsport made me a Jean-Claude Van Damme fan, but I'm gonna go with Kickboxer because of the story is much more sturdier. I'd say.
Look at
and
that.
Also, thank you to David for letting us know that in the original script, Togpo would have kicked Van Damme's mom. So there we go.
We got a barn burner. It's an official barn burner now.
Look at that. It's a tie now, guys. It's a tie. Rob. This is exciting.
Oh man.
No pressure.
Bloodsport. Look, I do think Bloodsport is the better movie. I just think it's very underrated because the flashiness of all the martial arts, I think, kind of overshadows the fact that it is a complete story. It's a good story. It's got good structure, I think. With that said, I gotta go with Kickboxer, man. I just love Kickboxer so much. I think the edge for me is I find Tong Po to be the more devastating villain. He does go out like a sucker, but the lead up to that fight and everything he does,
Okay.
when you have a villain, somebody, that is brutal shit. And I gotta, I know Chun-Li killed, but if Tong Po can do that, then I'm pretty sure he's killed too. I got to go with Kickboxer.
Oh man, look at that. Wow. So it's up to David.
It is a tough one. I think you guys kind of know where I'm leaning, but it is a tough one because they're both amazing. But I just think Bloodsport as a whole is just a funner movie, and it's a more interesting as far as like a martial arts movie with that competition before MMA, before Mortal Kombat, kind of like in a way was a seed for like all of this stuff. Plus that score is freaking amazing. It's better than Kickboxer.
All right, there we go. Woo. Woo. Well, Alex Richter was here. He did show up. He did put in the work. Unfortunately, internet issues, but it's all good, brother. We'll get you on here in the next one. Alex's vote was for Bloodsport.
Oh,
so now it depends on me. I may tie it right now.
Oh, okay.
I may tie it right now. Will I tie it?
Yes.
Oh,
nice.
Gotta go with the first one, man, because that's the one that was my introduction to the Van Damme. So I'm more nostalgic for that. So, but Kickboxer, great theater experience though. Oh man, this was a lot of fun. Look at all these badasses, and everyone's been going back and forth the whole time.
What did the Dojo Army vote for?
The chat is having fun over here. And here's the internet poll. You guys ready?
Ready.
So, David, I always go to the internet in case we do have a tie.
Sure,
to help break it. So, you ready for this? Check. I knew it was going to be bad. I didn't know it was going to be this bad.
Holy crap!
Wow.
Yep.
I don't blame them, but damn.
Holy shit!
Right.
I thought it was like Kickboxer was at least get halfway, but nope.
30% maybe, but
Yeah. Wow. Well, this was a blast. Another exciting, entertaining, and damn hilarious. Thanks to David. Versus episode. Y'all know what you need to do. Everybody's information is in the description box below of the video. You're going to need to subscribe to Entertainment Talk Nation, right? That's right. You need to subscribe and follow Frankie Puzos, Eric the Asian movie enthusiast, subscribe. Tony of the Dead, Mr. Subscribe. Follow Kyle Wong. Check out that Night Watch short film he did. It is a lot of fun. It's amazing. And y'all know you need to go over there and support our other samurai brother. That's right. David Anthony, make sure you go over there and subscribe again to him. And this was a lot of fun tonight, guys. The next week's Versus episode, I know what it is, but I'm not telling. You're going to have to wait. Channel members and patrons they'll get the scoop first, but we already got 2 movies lined up. But this was a lot of fun. Got to get you back on here, Rob. Thanks, David. Hey, David,
Yeah, of
if
course,
you do
it's
more
fun,
of
man.
these, and if we do more of these, and you're free, man, you're always welcome here on the channel, my
I
friend.
mean,
It's your second
if it's
home.
Van Damme or maybe Seagal or something like that, I'm definitely down. But
yeah, maybe we do some Seagull.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And don't forget to, if you're new here and if you had a good time tonight, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to your boy Samurai.
That's good. I like that.
Y'all know what you need to do. And so, perfect way to end tonight's episode. We about to get our Van Damage on, our Van Dancing on. We about to get it on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it is time. Hit it! Thanks all you badasses for watching. Keep watching movies. Keep training. See you guys next time. Take care, guys.
see ya.